Okay, remember, finger never goes on the trigger until you're ready to shoot.
Okay.
All right, well, let's start easing down through here. So today we're going to be going squirrel hunting with Ethan. Ethan's 15 years old, and today we're going to try and get him a couple squirrels and see if this is something he was interested in.
This is squirrel hunting, and you're out in the woods, fun and nature, exercising, and you get to hear animals making noise and all that stuff. We had to walk slow and calm.
The basics that I was trying to teach him was watching where he places his feet, making sure that he's not stepping on sticks and kicking rocks and stuff like that. But for someone who's never been in the woods, it makes it easier to just go over those basics. It can be overlooked from people who hunt all the time, just do it naturally, but the youngsters, they just need to be taught it.
We was looking in the trees and all that, and up in the, on the ground a little bit, see if we see squirrels.
Well, by stopping and listening, we were able to kind of get a heads up on where the squirrels were going to be. I like to walk a little bit and showing him that. There's a couple ways you can sit and wait for them, or you can kind of stalk them. By stopping and waiting, you're not spooking the squirrels before you even get to them. So if we can stop and wait and watch the tree line and watch for movement, listen for their calls, listen for acorns and hickory nuts dropping, it allowed us to kind of get a heads up and work towards the squirrels as opposed to spooking them all out before we get to them. Well, Ethan actually spotted the squirrel.
Oh, we saw him up in a tree limb.
And the squirrel was working towards where we were, so we let him get in within shooting range, and he had a pretty nice crossing shot. And by letting that squirrel get closer, it just made it a more ethical shot, and we knew that we'd be able to harvest it.
Then I went to shoot him, and
good shot, buddy. Your first squirrel.
Yeah. I hit him, and he came falling down.
Oh, it was a great shot.
I was happy.
Neither one of my parents hunted, and so the only way that I was actually able to begin hunting and enjoy this hobby so much was through these mentor hunts. I think the first hunt that I ever went on was a rabbit hunt, and we had a lot of fun watching the dogs run, and I knew I was going to be hooked after that, but I think the first 5 or 6 hunts that I went on were youth hunts, the youth mentor hunts, and after that I actually got hooked up with Chet Hayes, and Chet kind of took me under his wing, and we just about hunted or trapped every weekend of season.
Ross is a youngster that I've mentored since he was about 13 years old. I met him on a youth deer hunt, and it's really pleasing to me to mentor a young man and see him go into the wildlife field through college and become an ethical hunter and a conservationist, and then see him pass that same train of thought along to another youngster. So that's really very satisfying to me.
We were actually on a trapping episode.
Ross, follow that trail down to where that goes into the woods there. We got another snare down there a little farther.
I think I was 15 or 16 at that time, and
he ran the trap line with us that day, and we harvested a number of different fur bearers and talked about trapping and that.
You respect the wildlife. I had no idea. I mean, I didn't even know trapping still exists. I didn't know about mink. I didn't know raccoons, foxes. I thought foxes were all extinct. Everything I based was off Disney, and you come out in the real life and it's not like it. That's just not the truth. Like I said, Chet and I, it's something every weekend, and trapping is what we did into December and January.
Well, it looks like Ross snared him a gray fox here, doesn't it? Way to go, Ross.
The only way that this sport continues, and as much as I enjoy it, I think the only way to keep it going and to pay that forward, like you say, is to take kids out and let them experience it and let them have the fun.
It's a boy. Oh yeah, it's a boy. How can you tell? I'm just kidding.
And hopefully they'll do the same thing, continue it on.
Yeah, I might pass it on to my when I get older and I have kids, I might pass it on to them. This one's big. That is fat.
I want to thank Randy letting us bring these kids out here. Been coming out here for a long time, and really appreciate you letting us come out here.
Well, we're glad to have you. I remember when you were about his height and Chet Hayes brought you out here hunting.
Yeah,
So you learned from one of the good ones.
learn from a good one. Hopefully we can pass it on.
That's good. That's good. You're doing a good job.
Thanks a lot for let us hunt on this property.
Maybe someday these guys will have to take me and reteach me, because I forgot how.
We have kind of a culture gap where for a generation or so, people just didn't get out and hunt. We also have a lot of divided families now, single moms, single dads. We try to pick up the slack by mentoring these youngsters that don't have, a parent who hunts or knows how to hunt. And that way we get these youngsters into that.
No, I have never hunted. He's happy because this is the first time he actually ever hunted. Well, I knew it was safe because the game wardens were involved. I knew they were a bunch of good guys. They probably had been hunting and shooting guns since they were 13, just like the same age as our son. I wasn't worried at all.
First and foremost, it's safety. The most important thing that we do out here is safety. After that, it's just ethical hunting and teaching him how to read sign and be out in the woods and enjoy it and harvest some animals.
We've got a whole board full of squirrels. There's probably 40 or 50 squirrels there, despite the bad weather that we had. Now we're going through the cleaning process. They're going to show the folks, the parents and the youngsters, how to clean these squirrels and getting them ready for the table, in other words, because it's good meat, good food.
You learn to hunt, and you can eat what you get, You can't eat a golf ball. Most people is ball playing. I just always went with hunting and fishing. I come from down in the mountains, and that's growed up hunting and fishing, so I've always done that. You had to get up early, get in the woods, and something they don't usually get to do,
We're trying to bring new people and a new generation into all this kind of activity. And throughout the state, there's all different clubs and groups that are doing this kind of mentoring. It's really catching on and it's really paying off. When I'm out with a youngster especially, what it brings to me is a new experience. You relive all your new experiences. You relive your first squirrel, your first deer, your first turkey through these youngsters when they do that. And you see the excitement and the joy and the wonder in their faces, and it really invigorates you, and you just grow from that. I mean, it's been very enriching to me as a person to be a mentor with these young folks.
Just trying to introduce kids that want to go hunting and might not have someone to take them, but we're just trying to introduce them and allow them the opportunity to go out and hunt.